the attention of her uncle's wife at the time, Gladys Knight, and she performed for 5 nights alongside Gladys Knight. Now, at this time, the world was kind of starting to see who Aaliyah was, but spirit-wise, she wasn't quite there yet as far as her stage presence and just her overall spirit. It just wasn't quite there yet because, I mean, she's super young, just like Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson was really, really young, he had to do grown folks things, like performing on stage. He learned about the industry at an early age. And Michael Jackson was a damn good performer, even as a kid. But Aaliyah, she had a higher purpose, and she had an even higher mission on Earth. There was a certain type of energy that Aaliyah had to bring to Earth for her to be able to bring that energy into the.
So, what's up, people? I see I got two people in here with me. I hope the way the situation is looking is not distracting to you all. Everybody is asleep, and so I snuck away because I felt drawn to come to you all live. I first want to say, if you're new to this channel, my name is Khamsin, and I'm one half of the creator of Remnants Gathering. And the whole direction of the channel has been mostly a spiritual journey, and I am currently accepting the fact that I'm an oracle, what some have called a prophet in the past, and a amount of knowledge and wisdom is given to me that is very uncommon, and I'm still practicing being comfortable with that. But I was just sitting here going through your comments and stuff. We really do read your comments, and I said, you know what? Let me just go live because it just has to happen. It's necessary. So whoever the one person is that's up late night with me tonight and on here, thank you so much for jumping on here. I see someone says the Jussie Smollett story is fake. That's interesting. I don't have a particular thing I want to talk about. I kind of just want to talk about whatever comes up. So let's talk about this since you brought it up. It's a great point. I was just sitting here thinking to myself, what is going on with this story? Like, what's the real story behind the Jussie Smollett story? Is this one of those false flag things? Is it not true? And currently, right now, I'm not fully clear. So if you have something you can offer me, Edamat one, if I'm saying that right, if you have some information you can share with me while we're on here, that'd be great. I would like to lend myself to receive, to channel, to receive, transmit some information about this. The only reason why things like this are important, because celebrities and stars especially are a really good GPS device to understand what's happening as far as the cosmos, the universe, the alignment of the planets, the agenda of benevolent beings and people on earth and malevolent. And so that's why it's really good to sometimes lend your attention to what's happening in the media, especially what's happening to black men, and because of the time that we're in. So if you got something you want to share with me, with me. Why do you think it's a fake story? And I'm going to share with you what I feel. We really don't pray to a God outside ourselves anymore. We more so go within ourselves and communicate with our ancestors and communicate with our spirit guides and communicate with the energy of source, the creator of all things seen and unseen. And so my husband shared with me the story briefly yesterday, and I did find it strange. I didn't do any research and look into it, but I said this is significant. Everything that happens has a significance. It's up to the spiritual person to observe the story to understand what that story is saying, and it almost always is going to be something that is relatable to you. And that's kind of hard to perceive, but most of the times this is a lesson. Whether it's a false flag, something fake or real, there's a lesson behind everything, and anyone who is desiring to be truly spiritual knows that what I'm saying is true. I find it interesting that we know that he's a young, successful black man, and we know that he's very open about his sexuality. If I'm not mistaken, he identifies himself as being gay. Um, so, with that being said, we did a few videos talking about how the black male archetype is under attack. This is why we had the Rice. I think he was an NFL player. He beat his girlfriend on the elevator. They showed the tape of that. And I can remember saying, is he the first athlete to ever do something like this? And why haven't we ever saw a Caucasian athlete doing something abusive towards his wife or his woman or his girlfriend? And so that was the beginning of it for me. So there was a period of time where the attack on the black male archetype through the white media was centered around the triggers of trauma through shooting unarmed young black men. And that's still happening. However, the attention is shifting towards black men. Here are the key words throughout the media. These are the synchronicities you pay attention to when you're learning how to decipher what the energy is on earth at the current moment. And so with that being said, there with the gay black man, that is a level of sensitivity that will be created within us. Whether you're against homosexuality or not, the purpose of the cabal and the powers that be, the things that they do, is to shift our attention in hopes of controlling our consciousness. That's impossible for people who are breaking out of the matrix by learning how to be a free thinker, how to go within and not be afraid to rock the boat. So, with that being said, I can see how the story could possibly be fake. But on the other side of that, if something indeed happened to him that was very, very traumatic, then again, this is the same agenda, but they've transformed it into being centered around gay black men. So, probably what we're going to see next is a lot of black men being exposed as being gay, sleeping with trannies. We're going to see an uprise in those things because everything seems to be centered around sex and some form of trauma, sexuality, and some form of a black man trying to do the things that the powers that be and other people in Hollywood are doing and have never been reprimanded, outed, talked about, or a whole series documentary done about them. Okay, so this is we have to remember that white supremacy never went anywhere, and there's a reason that black people do not own the four alphabet major media empires. There's a reason for that. And so when you look at the proportion of black people that actually own networks and the ones that do not, you can see that that would be a very safe place and a very beneficial place for people who are white supremacists to work in the media. And so the media is the new tree used to lynch, except it's not just lynching the life and soul of black men, but it is actually lynching their character. It is a lynching of whatever their legacy is or was. If there was anything that was good within that legacy, then they're kind of on the shit list right now to be exposed for something. So instead of, we heard about R. Kelly and sleeping with men, right? They kind of eased it from this is about the women, this is about protecting the victims who were victims at the hands of R. Kelly, and it went from there to okay, R. Kelly likes men, and then it slowly eased from there, and then we have this major story. So I'm sure the numerology, the astrology behind all of this is going to give us a cosmic signature as to the agenda, the hidden agenda of why this is happening. So that's what I feel. We sent that. I was saying we don't pray outside of ourselves, but we do something called meta praying. And meta praying, the only difference between prayer and meditation, culturally and traditionally, prayer is when you direct your heart's desires or something you want to manifest towards a specific deity in hopes of receiving that which you are asking for. With meditation, you're going within and you're teaching yourself to harness what your heart desires and bring it from within you outside of yourself, right? So we call it meta pray, and it's a combination of sending out an intention for a desired outcome, but drawing it from within. And so what we did, we meta prayed about this situation. Hopefully, it's not true. If it is, however, this is going to be a really, really good distraction and a huge way to shift the division, the causes for division among the black community. So that's what I feel about this at the moment. I also feel that whether it's true or not, he still fell victim to the media. There is still something negative attached to his name going throughout the media, and it's unfortunate because the way that they do things and make decisions on what they're going to do and to who and to when, it's usually based on information that they receive from mediums, familiar spirits of that bloodline of that particular celebrity, and it's usually a very public ritual with the intention of using energy, whether it's sadness or anger or even happiness, using that energy and harnessing it to manifest something else. And so we see a lot of division in the black community right now, and it is so simple because they have been using these ancient arts practices and esoteric wisdom and knowledge, which usually originated from darker races, melanated people, because we were pulled away from the things that actually can help us. They're using it more. And so now that we're becoming conscious, we're waking up. Of course, they watch our YouTube videos. They're listening to the podcast. They make sure that they have the AI bots who going through our emails and our messages and text messages, so they can have a bird's eye view as to what's happening within the subconscious mind of our people. And so, with that being said, this is a programming of the subconscious mind with the purpose of drawing us away from the consciousness, the spiritual awakening in which is happening within the black community. So we're going to see a lot of huge headline stories centered around the black community and sex. I do feel that this is going to be happening this whole year. And the main reason for that, when we were Hebrew Israelites, we did a video about the eclipse that we had last year, and it literally went from the East Coast to the West Coast, and it made an X across the United States. And in that video, we talked about some of the prophecies of the Hopi Indians, speaking of this change happening, this transformation happening. And go back and watch that video when you get a chance about the eclipse that we had. It was some very good information that was given to me from my spirit guides and from source, for people. And so it still resonates, even though we were Hebrew Israelites at the time. So I was reading it through that filter, but there's still some very good information in there about prophetic events that is relevant to today. So with that being said, when that eclipse happened, we were at the 399th year of slavery. And so that means 2019, 2020 is actually the full ending of a 400-year particular slave program. And we know from the Bible and other ancient books, 400 years is a very, very spiritual number for groups of people. And this number usually is when there's a regeneration or rebirth or reset. And so we're going through the reset right now. And they know this. So because of that, because the Willie Lynch letter, he said that this usually works for about 300 plus years or so, right? After that, they will begin to break free from these techniques that are learned from the Willie Lynch letter. And so since that is happening, then the powers that be must do this to try to harness the energy of our consciousness awakening and to also stop us from materializing our manifestation of being our highest selves. So that's what I feel. So let me go through some of the stuff you are saying to me right now. Let's see. Okay. So Edomite 1, he said, they said it was a hate crime and they poured bleach on him and put a robe on his neck and called him the F word and N word. What? Hey, Mr. Bandclap. Peace, brother. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like my bars. I've been hiding that gift too, and it's time for me to stop hiding that gift. So, yeah, we'll be posting our first cipher soon, and a lot of people say I'm one of the best writers, rappers that they've known, female and male, and I've been hiding it. So yeah, this year, man, I'm letting it all out because the people who love me are gonna love me, and the people gonna hate me anyway. Why not be authentic to who I am? And I think that's one of the main messages for everybody is to be authentic to who you are, whether people like it or not. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one that has to walk your path. And you're the only one that will have to reincarnate because you didn't learn a lesson that your soul needed to learn this time that you came back to earth. And so I definitely don't want to have to reincarnate, so I'm trying to get it right this time. Mr. Bandclap. So yeah, peace to him. Y'all check out his channel. He's like a soul brother, like for real, and he really gives really good information that's coming from the heart, and there's no particular agenda behind it. Seems like everybody got an agenda now. Man, a lot of YouTube channels I follow and stuff, it just becomes really clear to me that there's an agenda. And seems like money is driving a lot of people to do YouTube, whether in a conscious community or not. And so my husband and I, we're trying our best to not be that way with you all. Let's see. What else? They said he left the subway at 2 a.m., but it closes at 9 p.m. Also, the threats that he got looked like a child wrote them. There's a lot of discrepancies. That's interesting. Looks like a child wrote them. And it said 2 a.m. I don't know a subway that stays open to 2 a.m., so that is strange. But there we go. There's the numerology that they use when they specifically express times and places and locations and addresses and stuff. Yeah, oh man, that's all magic. All magic, just straight rituals. Let's see. I do think he got beat, but they changed the stories. Okay. Well, I know his last post that he made right before all of this happened, he was talking about how sometimes people just draw you to come out of your character and maybe do something negative. You know what I'm saying? That was his last post on his Instagram. So I do feel it could have possibly been a personal situation of someone that he knew, which led to a lot of this. So yeah, that's horrible. See, this right here. This is gonna have black people arguing. It's gonna have the Christians arguing with the spiritualists about what's right and what's wrong. If he wasn't gay, this wouldn't happen, and blase, blase, blase. So again, this is a redirection of energy and our attention to get the outcome they desire. We cannot give in to that. Let's see. I agree with you with the R. Kelly thing. Y'all did too. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like that. I felt like it was gonna be controversial, so to speak, and it's nice to know that you resonated with what we were saying. Doing the research, y'all, to put these together. Like I said, we're not making money on YouTube, so when we take the time out of our children's lives and our day and things we could be doing to make money, do those videos, know that it is something very important in there, and that's the whole purpose. That we make this information available to you all. So if you hadn't watched the video, go check it out, because when you watch videos and read books, and you get information, maybe that's something you've never gotten before, and connections, that activates the things that are lying dormant within you. That is how you activate the light codes. That's how you activate the dormant part of your DNA, by information, receiving information. And if that information is high vibrational information, if that information has to be esoteric, if that information has to be something that is only found by people who dive deep on a truly infinite level, non-judgmental, open-minded, if that information is that type of information, then it's going to act as a light code and help you to transform into the person that you are designed to be. So check that video out if you hadn't. Let's see. Mr. Bandclap, you say, yeah, that's already starting now. That's why I had to jump on this wave to inform people that are going through these shifts that it's not their fault. A lot of people are going through their initiations. Exactly, Mr. Bandclap. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's so awesome to hear that. It's so nice to have people who just on the vibration that you're on, because this can be a lonely walk. Being spiritual is not fun. You know, one main thing the Bible got right, that very few find the path. It's a very narrow path that few travel. And there's also a broad path that many travel. And every religion that we ever practiced was a very broad path that many people traveled. However, our current belief system, the way we decipher information, and the things that we are learning to be true, it definitely is something that's not for the masses. And it is for a small amount of people who are walking a path that's narrow, because just a lot of people aren't drawn to this path. And so that's really special, and that's another reason we named this Remnants Gathering. So yeah, that's dope to have y'all resonate with us like that. We appreciate that for sure. Let's see. In 48 Laws of Power, Law 5, put holes in your enemy's reputation and let the public, yes, opinion, lynch them. That's right. The laws of the universe is like what rule the universe. And white supremacy is on top, because we're no longer ruling the universe using the laws of the universe. We're trying to use laws passed down in tradition in the Bible, and the people who passed them down to us didn't really have full understanding of the science behind faith, the science behind spirituality. And so yeah, that's a whole other video, but I guess I'll just go ahead and throw it out there. But the Bible is a metaphysical book. It is a metaphysical book. And even Jesus, let's just say he was an actual person, even though there were 14 different Jesuses, and Dr. Aline Bay talks about the many different Jesuses on his website. But anyway, so let's just say he also spoke about the eye being full of darkness, right? But you're thinking that it's light. He spoke about that. He didn't say eyes with an S, just one. So, you know, that's the third eye, which is really should be the first eye. But that's just your spiritual intuition, your awareness, and being able to be tapped into the unseen, right? And so he talked about that. And, you know, he also talked about the sun, moon, and stars being a sign, to be used as a sign to determine the seasons. And so for those people who are like, you know, man, we don't like the direction you're going in with the channel because you're paying attention to numerology, astrology, and this, that, and the other. And we will say to that, well, if the Bible is what you're following, then the Bible also recommends that you do this to understand the seasons that you are in. So, yeah. Let's see. They got rid of the Panthers and turned us into Bloods and Crips. This is true. They sure did. That's very powerful. And it's funny you mentioned that with the Bloods and Crip things and getting rid of the Panthers, because I wanted to say this. We saw this coming prophetically, whether you want to call it foresight or whatever. We saw it coming. When we went to see the movie Black Panthers, that right there, the celebration of that was huge, right? It was phenomenal. And what happened right after that? Infinite Wars came out, and they killed off most of the heroes that were in Black Panthers. They didn't even get to survive more than one movie. And a movie and a half, I guess you could say. And so that right there was giving us an idea of what was about to unfold, and we're there now. They are tearing down the people who were viewed, I'm not going to say they're gods, us, and we worship them, but they're tearing down people who you could say operated in a creator energy of being the god of their own life and reality. It's unfortunate, but yes, this is what's happening. And it's true. Let's see. Do 28, right? Yeah. Exactly. Spartan 02. Hey, Spartan. However, we have to follow what resonates with us. And we've studied Jesus for a very long time, deeply. My husband is actually ordained minister as well. So on an intellectual level, a historical level, we have studied to and fro, and we've come to much deeper understanding. And that's what's serving us. What we were believing that was passed down to us from our parents, it was not working for us, and it had not really worked for our parents either, or our people as a whole. So for us to be authentic to the reason our soul is here to fulfill a purpose, we came to a deeper understanding of who Jesus really is. But if that's what works for you and that's where you are, you know, then keep at it. Do what works for you. Let's see. Right, they use the art of war and 48 laws of power. There's black magic, light magic, spellings. Yeah, I guess I really don't know much about it, but I'm learning spelling is just ladders. That's good. That's really good. That's good. Yeah, Jesus is said to be soft like doves and wise as serpents. There we go. And so in this spiritual journey, we are learning that to have a mind like Christ really means a Christ consciousness. It really means to begin programming your subconscious mind to understand that you are a creator yourself and that you have the ability to explore both heaven and hell and use that for the creation and even liberation of people on earth. That's what we have learned from those teachings. So many things that I could say about that, but I wanted to jump on here tonight and mainly say to you all, we have reached over 78, almost 8,000 subscribers, and without you all, so thank you, thank you, thank you for your support, and just thank you for sending peace and love and good vibes like y'all do. We appreciate it, and thank you for being authentic to who you are. We're not here to change or sway anybody against something that doesn't resonate with them. We're here for the people who we're called to be here for and who are called to be here for us, because this is definitely a learning experience for us all. None of us are sitting on a high horse, you know. It's just we're all in this shithole together. We're all in this petri dish together. And the sooner that we learn that and understand that and begin living by that, the sooner the things in earth that are detrimental to our ability to ascend, awaken in our spirituality, you know, the better off we'll be. And so hopefully that's what we're able to do and bring here. Let's see. I have Christian background, but love enlightenment too, but love enlightenment. Okay. That's dope. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You know, let me tell you all why I feel like the Bible was able to touch so many people, because it was a combination of many of the greatest civilizations learning of spirituality, which includes nature, relationships, and even the origins of mankind. And so, because they took all of these ancient texts and kind of picked pieces and pulled them together and put them all in there, that's what makes the Bible still a very powerful book. So, we do not throw out the baby with the bathwater, but for a period of time, we had to completely pull away from the Bible to get to where we are. And because the Bible definitely was confusing and we couldn't understand it. And so we had to pull away to humble ourselves and what we thought was right so that it could be adjusted by a power much greater than our own, which is that of Source, the creator of everything living, dead, evil, good, seen and unseen. And even the Bible says, I created evil, you know. The God of the Bible says that. So again, it's just a matter of perception and perspective. Okay, Spirit of Dawn, let's see. Khamsin, can I ask you a favor? Can you ask those black Israelites to get out my land? They are screaming in Jerusalem and tell us we're not Israelites or something like that. Wow, that was mentioned on someone else's channel that's going on over there. Thank you for letting us know what's going on over there. That's see, they're very disruptive and aggressive. Well, done. This is a spiritual warfare. This world is not flesh against flesh or blood against blood, but principalities of darkness, rulers, and authorities of the unseen realm. And so I would say to you, have you decoded what's happening on a spiritual level? And if so, or when you do, at that point it's up to you to decide what role you're going to play in that. And so I would say to you, if that's going on in your land and it's disruptive and it's bothersome, look deeper and lend your attention to, why am I experiencing this? Why does this make me feel this way? Why is this happening? And what can I learn from this? And can I be a part of the solution? And so that's the way we approach everything that happens, especially things that have a negative effect on us, because it's there for a lesson. It's there to teach you a lesson. Um, Now, I also want to say this. I don't know if you saw the video, the last video we did, making the connections between Aaliyah, R. Kelly, and Trump and the peace treaties with Israel. But I would say to you, um, Donald Trump has been put on a coin, and this coin is in Jerusalem, and they're using the prophecy for Donald Trump to build the third temple. And the peace talk treaties, after all of these years, Trump is like the man for Israel right now. And you have to wonder, is there a connection there? You have to ask yourself now, why all of a sudden would Israel take someone who culturally, religiously, spiritually is not really connected to Israel, and they're going to mint him on a coin the way they did kings and queens before? Not only that, but King Cyrus is kind of who they use as the, I guess you could say, the twin of his energy on this particular coin. And that coin is in the video that I just mentioned to you on R. Kelly. Who would have ever thought that R. Kelly had a connection to Trump and Trump had a connection to Israel, and Israel was connected to some of the divisive wars that they are starting between certain races and people with certain belief systems, and that there's a hidden hand operating behind that, and that there is a much greater intention behind what's happening on the physical realm. And the only way we were able to get this information, again, is by humbling ourselves, being humble to everything that we think that we know is right, so that the proper adjustments can be made where we're able to vibrate truth, and we're able to resonate truth, and we're able to see things with clarity. And so by asking those questions, that's how we got the connections between Trump, Aaliyah, R. Kelly, my God, segment. It was just all over the place, and it was just mind blowing, and still is, of those connections. As a matter of fact, Mr. Ritual, there are also performance rituals, and there are a lot of black people who are researching and desiring to know their heritage, and that is leading back to them being the true Jews, which we still do believe is true. We do believe the first Jews were black people. Um, and of course, the people of Turkey, and that's the Ashkenazi Jew, and they took the practices and belief systems, they took the land and everything and claimed it as their own. So that, to me, what you're talking about happening is just the manifestation of what's happening on the unseen, in the unseen realm. And there's a war going on. It's been going on. It's an infinite war, right? There we go, infinite war. And so black people are hurt. Black people are traumatized. Black people are angry. And anytime you take a group of people and you take their spirituality, their culture, their language, their food, their children, their husband, their wives, and you destroy them and oppress them for 400 years, when you do that to a people and they begin soul searching and trying to figure out what the truth is, yes, there's a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of hurt and emotion there. And one thing we must remember is that anger is simply fear expressing itself the only way that it knows how. And most oftentimes, I do believe subconsciously, black people are dealing with trauma on a very deep epigenetic level, and that is the cause for the anger that you may be seeing. I believe that 1,000%. I do. And they're just searching for something that belongs to them. And we are one of the few groups of people on earth who were oppressed and enslaved the way we were, as long as we were, and never given any land. We were never given anything. And at least the Native Americans, they were given something. People who died in the Holocaust, and even their children and children's children, were given something. We weren't given anything. So, yes, there's a lot of anger and frustration there. And if you're a spiritual person, consider sending love and light, energy and peace to them, because that's trauma. That is trauma manifesting itself. 1,000%. That's what that is. Okay, let's see. What else going on here? Okay. It says, hold on, let me scroll down. Give me a moment, y'all. Okay. It says, do you have the power to do it? If not, sorry for bothering you. Um, well, I mean, we still are connected to a lot of Hebrew Israelites, and we could definitely reach out to a few people. However, because there's a spiritual purpose behind this, nothing we say or anyone else is going to change that. You're able to impact change just as much as we are, and maybe even more because you're physically there and you're physically witnessing it. So, maybe if you do some videos and post it and allow us over here in America to see what you're saying, maybe that will lead to something positive. So just ask yourself, what can I do? And is there anything positive I can bring from this? And like I said, those people are hurting. Black people are hurting. We're hurting. And everyone wants to be able to identify their origins and who they are. And I don't think we can really blame them for being angry. We were very angry as Hebrew Israelites, and it's just when you find out the truth about a lot of things, it's painful. So I hope that works out, and we will definitely be sending love, light, peace, and energy to you. And I hope that something I said to you resonates with you, so that you're able to be a part of something bigger than yourself and something spiritual and something that's going to lend itself to grounding compassion and love on this earth, because we so need it. We so need it. We all need it. Let's see what else we got going on here. I watch Hidden Colors too. I need to watch 4 and 5. Yeah, Hidden Colors is so good. We're on 4 right now, and 5 will definitely be next, but that's true. This is Bible study for me. Laugh out loud. Thanks, sis. Oh, Edomite one. That's so awesome. Yeah. Honestly, there were some things we were practicing in religion that were very beneficial that we haven't started doing again, and we really need to. One of those things is fellowship. Another one of those things is studying, right? Another one of those things is uplifting each other, being there for each other, just kind of having that family type structure. And prayer, what we called prayer, assisting each other in what you would call, I guess a prayer warrior, or someone who intercedes on someone else's behalf, right? An interceder. And so these are some things that we practice in religion that were really, really good and beneficial for us on a collective level. And my husband and I are trying to figure out how to reestablish those things without taking people backwards into something that is not beneficial for people seeking true spirituality. So I'm glad that this is acting as a Bible study for you, because boy, we do miss those things. I'm going to be honest with you. So that's good to hear. Let's see, Spirit of Dawn, Khamsin. Yes, I think we are paying for what the whites did to them. We are very tolerant, but it's very strange for them to insult a Jew in Israel. It's like they think they are immortal or something. Yes, Spirit of Dawn, we're all eternal beings, and so in that way we are immortal. However, I understand where you're coming from. And again, you noticed it and it moved you because your soul is supposed to do something. And that something may just be grounding, peace, love, and trying to send that vibration out. And you don't have to say a word, just your presence, just vibrating love and compassion in that presence can have a very powerful impact. Even if you only impact one person, right? Or if you just plant a seed, right, that impacts one person. So you have, Let's see. And you're not bothering me, Spirit of Dawn. It's okay. I jumped on here because I felt the pull on my soul that someone's soul needed this interaction tonight. So that's why I'm on here. So you're not bothering me. Let's see. Spirit of Dawn, Khamsin, because it's not him that we are interested in. It's his son-in-law. Oh, Kushner, Trump. Okay, his son-in-law. And I did a video about his son-in-law, and a lot of gematria centered around his name and everything, his birthday and stuff. And so you scroll through the videos. It's in there somewhere. But I think it's something about Trump, Kushner, the Antichrist energy or something like that. But we did a video of gematria centered around him and his name. So you might want to scroll back and see if you can find that on our channel. It shouldn't be too far back. Let's see. Talking about when we were getting taken into slavery and stuff. Yeah, they really weren't keeping good registries of that. So people just trying to figure out who they are, you know. And everybody wants to belong somewhere. That is one of the number one driving forces of being human, is that you desire to belong and you desire to know, right? So let's see. Let me scroll through here a little more. I don't know if you heard about Kid Boo beating Black China. No, I didn't hear about that. But if he was Chris Brown, they would have went in on him. Wow. No, I didn't know that. See, again, here we go. These are things that are in the headlines, in the media, things that are happening, and they have a spiritual purpose. So there we go. I totally agree with that. Knowledge is power and all. Yeah. Have you took ancestry DNA tests? No, I haven't, Edamai one, but I'm definitely considering it. I would love to know what my origins are. My husband would too. We know some of them. We've gotten a lot of information through meditation and through other people, through dreams too. Dreams I've been having my whole life, and I know that I have a very heavy connection with Egypt. So, yeah, but we may do that test one day, and I think it'd be really interesting to do the DNA test and show it to you all. But people are saying that they're using those DNA tests to create a system where they can determine who's going to commit a crime before they do it based on their genetics. There was a movie, I think, with Tom Cruise in it, kind of like that, The Minority Report. And so we kind of been a little cautious about using those tests because of that. And I just feel like they're taking advantage of people not knowing their origins and who they are. And that's so horrible. But if it is meant to happen, then it will be. It's for sure. Let's see. Spirit of Dawn. Okay, thank you, Gentile woman. I would pray to Hashem to give you a position when the Messiah comes. Oh, okay. The Messiah comes. I will try to have you saved among the good Gentiles. Well, like I said, Spirit of Dawn, we vibrate love and light and compassion here in a non-judgmental way. And if that's what resonates with you and you feel led to do that, then, go with it. We don't ever want to turn anybody away from what they feel they should be doing. Let's see. Okay, you did a DNA test and it's going to come in 2 weeks. Cool. Oh, and peace to you too, Spirit of Dawn. Peace to you as well. Is there anything else? Anybody want me to address anything? I got to do this more. We have to do this more. My husband has kind of been working a whole lot and working overtime because my alternative treatments for my health conditions very expensive, and so we don't get as much time as we would like to get on here, and sometimes I'm actually too sick to get on here. But I want to it's about 8 people in here with me, so, and if you come across this video later, I hate that we missed you. Hit the bell on the notification so you won't miss us next time, because I do these when I'm inspired and moved to do them. And it has a lot of impact because I'm acting on inspiration. And so that, yeah, all of us need to be inspired sometimes. And when you feel inspiration and you act on it, then you're able to transfer that inspiration you're feeling. You're able to transfer it to the individuals who ears come across it. So let's see. Okay, well, go ahead and think. If you think of something, just email us. Let's see, is there anything else I want to say? You all give me a moment. Let me see. I want to say to you all, there are some very troubling times ahead of us. A lot of us need the triggers of trauma because it's going to help us to see ourselves. I'm talking about the spiritual mirror. It's going to help us to really see ourselves. It's unfortunate that trials and tribulations and pain and suffering is the way the human soul, what the human soul uses to evolve. However, here in this 3D matrix world on earth, that's the way. Every human who has ever lived, no matter who they were, went through something. But on a collective scale, I also believe that the world was supposed to end many times. And I believe that we do have help in the realm outside of our light spectrum, the unseen realm, helping us. I believe that we were spared from nuclear war, World War III, which everybody has been prophesying about for at least 30, 40 years, hasn't unfolded. And the reason for that is we're in an age and a time now where each of us, we are fragments of the Creator, of Source. And so as we come together and learn to have unity and heal as a collective, Earth is going to change. It's just like a seed. In order for that seed to produce something, it has to be put in the dirt. It has to be stepped on, rained on. Then that seed becomes something. This current time space. And our roots growing, pressing through the ground, maybe rocks and concrete, right? But once we get grounded and rooted and return to our roots, and I mean spiritual practice, those roots, as we return to those things, as we try to restore the balance of nature on a collective level, there has to be trial and tribulation. But at the end of it all will be something beautiful that is going to manifest itself from a place we could not see before. Seeds must always begin in darkness. Even the Bible says light comes from darkness. So for those of us who are light workers, who were put here in this time and we're going through these major transformations, darkness is necessary to give birth to the light that we carry. Each of us. Not one of us is more important than the other. And if you happen to have missed this live, I hope that this resonates with you and touches your heart as well. So be encouraged. 2019 is a year of no fear. But in order for each of us to become the higher selves, the best person you can be, the person you dream of becoming, the person you look up to, the person your heart desires to become, we must not be afraid of the darkness. We must learn how to find comfort while we're in that dark place. We must learn how to embrace the darkness and its ability to give life to something that our heart desires, that our soul needs to fulfill for the purpose that we are here. The next 6 months, we will see major shifts and changes that are going to impact us individually and collectively. We're also going to see wealth be transferred from the oppressed and the poor, right? It's going to leave one group of people and go to another. The Bible says that the wealth of the wicked would be stored up for the righteous. And again, we quote the Bible because there are many truths in there that come from much older spiritual text. So it's relevant and it's powerful. Once you have humbled your intellect, humbled your tradition, humbled your religion and your practices, you will be able to contain more in your container till your cup overflows. With that being said, I believe the next 2 to 3 months, anyone who is practicing and desiring true spirituality, begin practicing your tools that give you peace, that give you joy, that give you bliss, and things that allow you, people that allow you to be who you are authentic in your authenticity, and they love you just as you are. They love you. That is a vibration and a place that we should all find. The people who do not begin soul searching, doing what we call soul work, which includes canceling karmic contracts, which includes canceling contracts that you unknowingly made with your job, corporations, the school, the church. Clean your house, get your house in order. Purge the things that no longer serve you. If you use the next 2 to 3 months to learn to meditate, learn to visualize, get comfortable holding a spiritual mirror up to yourself, the more that we're practicing that, the more that we're going to get out of the darkness that is about to unleash on this earth. I have to receive that word myself. It's as if someone else is saying this, and I'm like, wow, even though I'm saying it. So practice that. Practice being comfortable where you are, but not so comfortable that you no longer desire to grow. Practice harnessing love and compassion and gratitude, regardless of what's happening in your life. Practice being the light. The beautiful thing about darkness, it penetrates so deeply, and it has the ability to give birth to things that nothing else can give birth to. The movie about with Batman in it from 2012, I think it was called The Dark Knight. Well, the villain in that movie, I think his name was Kane or something like that, Bane. That movie was teaching us that we all have a dark part of ourselves, a sinister part of ourselves, and we need to get to know the lower self and the higher self, the dark night of the soul and the light self. We're in that time. People are getting divorces who thought they would be together forever. People are breaking up. People are dying very quickly. A lot of people's children are dying before them. We've experienced that personally as well. A lot of young people are having babies. I think even TD Jake's, I want to say teenage daughter was pregnant. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could not be true. But my purpose in saying this is, these are things that can be considered dark things, bad things, heavy things, evil things. But it's necessary for the evolution of mankind and for us to return to the divinity that we're extensions of. So this darkness should not be taken for granted. And it should not be treated, try not to treat your darkness as if nothing good can come from it. Whatever's going on in your life that seems dark, try to train your mind to say, I'm not going to hate this thing. What are you here to teach me? I'm open. My heart is open and ready to receive. My soul desires to fulfill its purpose. Why is this present darkness impacting me right now? And what am I supposed to do? Whether you still pray to a God or not, whenever you put out a question, the universe delivers an answer. Whether you attribute that answer to a deity, a god, an energy, a spirit god, or an ancestor, the fact of the matter is, the spiritual laws of the universe, the hermetic principles, these laws really do work as just as much as gravity works. Okay? So if you have a lot of resistance against whatever you're going through, or maybe about to go through, gonna go through, that's dark, you're not gonna get the highest benefit from it. I'm gonna leave a light code with you all. The things that our heart desire the most, the things that we need to fulfill the most, it can only be done in darkness. It can only be manufactured in darkness. And if we hate the dark things, then we're hating ourselves. We're hating who we're trying to become. Which is why many of us look back at dark times in the past and we're like, you know what? I appreciate that now because it made me who I am today. Practice having that attitude today. Practice saying, you know what? I appreciate these hard times because it is creating who I am desiring to be. It is helping me to be who I am, for I am that I am right now. Thank you. Thank you, suffering. Thank you, pain. Because only by pain of childbirth can life be brought forth. That is the curse of being human, right? Even the Bible talked about the curse that came upon Adam and Eve. So know that if you till the ground with the sweat of your brow, you will have a harvest. That if you endure the pain, you will give birth to something beautiful. That is the essence and embodiment of life itself with your signature on it. Signed, sealed, and delivered. So try not to despise difficulty. That resonates a lot with my heart, and I feel like it's touching someone as well. Being conscious and awakening is painful. It's lonely. And it seems to cause division, even within your own family, or at your job, or even with your children, or your spouse. True spiritual transformation rocks the boat. It causes a storm. But learning how to have Christ consciousness, learning how to sleep in that storm the way Jesus did, learning how to command the weather, to command the powers of the wind and the unseen realm and storms. Learning how to do that, learning how to secure the peace that surpasses all understanding comes at a price. And that price is usually that you walk alone and that you can't find many people to talk to who will understand what you're going through or resonate, appreciate what you're going through. There will be a lot of tears coming up, but that's okay. Don't be discouraged. Try to lean into what you're feeling. The oxygen to increase within your body to help you process the lesson from that darkness. Prana. The art of deep breathing. The science behind that is phenomenal. the metaphysics behind that is powerful. If you do one thing, practice conscious breathing. 478 is very popular. That's where we began. 4 seconds, I breathe in as much as I can. Make sure that your stomach is where you're breathing from and not your chest, right? So 4 seconds, breathe in, allow the stomach to go out as far as it can. Hold it for 7 seconds and blow it out of your mouth with the sound of a sigh for 8 seconds. That actually helps the brain and the nervous system to reset itself. We know that it talked about the breath of life, right, from the Creator being breathed into us, which is what made us animate, which is what made us be able to interact with this physical world, which means breath is very powerful, and it is a tool that all of us can practice and that we need. We're going to need it. We're going to need it. Yes. If I could give you all something to prepare you for the road ahead, know that you're going to need the tools that you have been learning. And you're going to need to practice them as consistently as possible. The darkness that comes into our lives, the intention is not for it to destroy us, but to give us the opportunity to bring forth that which is within. It can't happen any other way, because we, that's just what it is. The best love songs were usually written after a heartbreak, right? Ain't no sunshine shine when she gone. Ain't no sunshine when she gone. Man, that's such a good song. A lot of great movies come out of pain and suffering, trials and tribulations. And we love watching movies like that. So try to embrace whatever you're going through. Don't be discouraged. Cry if you need to. Smile as much as you can. And know that this is not the end. And you're not alone. You're not alone. It may feel like it, but you're not alone. And thankfully, because of technology, we can now find people who are on the same wavelength as we are. That's beautiful. That's great. So I hope I share something that touches you all. I'm going to get off of here. Thank y'all so much for jumping on here with me. I appreciate you all. But it's a lot of pain and trauma coming to the surface, y'all. Okay? So for those of us who are spiritual, let's try to enforce these practices. Try our best when we go out among people to just allow those rays of light, man, to help heal people. Okay? People are hurting. That's what we're saying. People are hurting. Okay? And Birth, no, I'm not ignoring you. But when spirit is speaking, I try not to interrupt what my spirit is desiring to communicate. So you're not being ignored. Okay, so good night, you all. If there's anything that I didn't address, any questions, anything you want to share, please share it respectfully. Leave it in the comment section. If you need to contact us for any reason, our email is remnantsgathering@gmail.com. And we have hundreds of videos and thousands of playlists, it seems. And I promise you, it's some stuff, anything that you're dealing with right now, we got a playlist created for it. I can assure you that. We take this journey very serious. So we love you all. Remember what I'm saying. And when that dark day comes, come back to this video if you need to and remind yourself, you're in that darkness to give birth to something. So try to go into it with as less resistance as possible. We can change. And we can change the condition that humans are in. We can. One person at a time. We can. We can. Love is very powerful. All right. Peace. Good night, y'all.